Yeah, we can put it
It's better to
inside if you want.
Okay.
Yeah, we put it inside. Just move the trash can out of here.
You are a good driver, James. No?
And when he's drunk, it's better.
In front of Marco, I don't say that.
Okay, so when did you begin with fellow robots? And I forget the previous name. What was the name before?
Nine cents.
Yeah.
Ninth Sense.
It's still the entity name, but we are doing business as fellow robots because it's more friendly.
Okay.
Yeah, Ninth Sense is too complicated.
One of their major advisors is an astronaut, Dan Barry, who is also an expert in robots, and his son also is working on robotics at
Right,
MIT.
his son and daughter.
His
Daughter as well.
Yeah. Fantastic.
So there are medical robots, of course, Roomba and humanoid and all sorts.
Right.
This is the telepresence robot.
Right.
Are you the leader of this telepresence robot?
So we are the first company making this open source, as I said. We are basically the leaders there because no one else is making this open source. And the reason we did that is because we, at the same time, we want people to build this stuff and learn about it. It's actually Arduino. Arduino is an open source platform for electronic prototyping. It's a very small board, and you can do programming in C, which is very simple. So this robot is actually based on Arduino, which is open source. So people can just buy this and start playing with it, like adding robot arms, adding sensors, adding new building apps on top of this. So it's no one else does that, and we wanted to do that, right? Like help people learn about robotics and at the same time build something that is useful.
Actually, I can give you an example on that. So there is a organization, nonprofit organization in Washington called Connected Warriors. They help injured veterans to get back to normal life. So they bought our robot, and what they do is, on one hand, they involve a bunch of students, high school students, and work on our open source hardwares and softwares and teach them how to make new robots, how to do robotics. And then they use the robots they build to help the veterans on connecting with their families and be rolling around in their house and maybe actually take on new jobs because they can like do security, do medical diagnosis if they're actually a doctor in the military, so they can do that. Now they have actually more opportunity in higher employment, and they will have more connection with their families.
So veterans will use it, although they are a bit older than regular.
Right, they can be just sitting in the hospital, but actually they can travel around the world with the robot.
Yeah, so they're not like parked somewhere.
Right.
It's like they're just running around the streets.
Yeah.
It's
지금까지의 경험들 그리고 자기
Sorry, because we were in Near Sky. All of us wanted to try the mind reader.
and the ears.
Yes. Yes, and from here we are going to meet Anthony Evans and glowing
The glowing
plants,
plant, okay.
which I also think is fantastic.
It's awesome.
and also I'm curious that when you move to
Yes.
these locations from the SU and
how much you pay?
I mean
How much do we pay here?
No, not
Okay.
that really.
No, but yeah, sure.
Your advantages to move in here. The biggest advantages that you can take. Well, I mean, you stay here.
Sure.
And the reason why you move to, and
Well,
that kind of thing.
sure. The main reason is we wanted to be like a little bit closer with startups at the same time. Like there are 300 startups here, right? So the environment is like very, I don't know, like very. There's a lot of people here, startup people living together. Well,
With the
working
same
together
interest,
with the same interest.
Collaboration together.
Collaboration is great.
opportunity, and Plug and Play is especially famous for its connection with corporations, big corporations. They have, I think, more than 200 corporations in residence.
You guys exchange your information together.
Yeah, so they have a retail program. They have programs focused on different areas. One of them is retail right now. Another one is it used to be automotive. So if you're working with the car technology, you can just go with these guys, big guys, BMW and Rolls Royce and things like that. Right now they're focused on retail, and because we're very interested in retail, that actually is a great fit.
Very good.
Yeah.
Retail. 자, 질문하시죠.
So, would you like to publicize your activities and why you are better than others?
So we're better than others because we are moving extremely fast, and the technology we're iterating.
The components, some of the even the mechanical components we bought it from Shenzhen, and we make our parts there and then ship it here. We assemble it here, and then sell it to all over the world. But Shenzhen is like a hub for hardware companies, hardware startups and corporations. The difference between Shenzhen and Silicon Valley is that Silicon Valley is like the hub for every startup, every kind of startup. And Shenzhen is more like towards hardware and electronics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But here you can see like Stripe, you can see Facebook, you can see WhatsApp, and this kind of startup over here in Silicon Valley. And you can see some very strange startup like doing food deliveries or even laundry deliveries here. And Shenzhen, not so much, more like hardware. There are some kind of similar startups like food delivery or that kind of startup in Shanghai or Beijing, but it's not in Shenzhen. So there is not a place in China or I don't know anywhere else in the world that have everything.
Just that one, the one that just one, the one that one. We have about, in total we have about 50 $50, 20 Colombia. We have, yes,
later in the year, yes. Okay. Wonderful. So, when do you go to mass production? I want to see mass production, you know, hundreds, thousands, millions. We will celebrate your next launch.
Thank you. Welcome anytime. Hopefully I'll see you maybe in 12 months.
Fantastic, fantastic. Anyway, we will meet via telepresence robots as well. Oh, I'll be in Colombia with your robot in 2 weeks in Bogota. It's okay, huh?
Right.
You know, I am an old model, but I still work.
Sure.